in this time where we're finding ourselves working from home and where we're pretty isolated in terms of being able to talk to people and to work together, I wanted to create a series that will help you to be a better communicator in this online space. One of the things that I'm very fortunate of is having worked with lots of fantastic industry experts over the years. So I'm going to be asking them to join me and to have a discussion basically about topics that I think will help people to be better communicators, especially at the moment online. So today I'm going to be talking to Simon, and instead of me telling you all about who Simon is and what he does, I will let him introduce himself. Over to you, Simon.
Hi, so my name is Simon. I am a freelance vision mixer. So what that means is using kit like this behind me, I go into venues to film and stream corporate events, conferences, awards ceremonies, sports, whatever, you name it. I film it and broadcast it out to audiences around the world. And that's what I've done for the last 7 or 8 years now.
Cool, thanks, Si. So we're seeing at the moment, I am definitely, I know you are, we've had this conversation about so much more online content being streamed. People are doing it from the comfort of their own homes. What are your top tips when it comes to doing it successfully?
One would be get a decent webcam if you can, and if not, use the one you've got to its best. So keep it dead still, try and frame the shot nicely. You don't want loads of headroom on top of you. So by that I mean this, you don't want big gaps around you as you're being filmed. And the main tip would be sound. Audio is so important. All the onboard mics on every camera device you could possibly have are all crap. Every single one of them, they're all rubbish. They always have been, they always will be. So if you're going to record yourself and do streaming or messages of yourself, spend a little bit of money on an external microphone. They don't cost much and you get a lot of bang for your buck. So that would be my tip if you're doing it yourself.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point about making it, look professional. And the thing is, people, we know people, the audience know that people are doing this from their own home, and that's fantastic. But everyone's doing it. So a great way to stand out is to just give it, 10% more professionalism. And that can simply be just really thinking about the background, I suppose, can't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so I'm working from home. This is my home office. It kind of is what it is. It's a little box room. There's not much to it. But I've done a few little bits from here before. So I spent a little bit of money, like a tenner, getting a little brick backdrop just to break up the fact it's 4 ice white walls. I thought a little bit about dressing the background before I had this chat with you, Ray. So normally there's a few more cables, quite a lot of empty Coke cans and general kind of sort of tat that would live around here, and I've sort of got rid of that. So it's just thinking about your background, your environment. Just because things have had to change and we're doing things differently, it doesn't mean it doesn't have to be of a standard. And I think I've seen a lot of that at the moment where people are maybe rushing things, where rushing to get something out the door. I get it, I know we have to respond to things so quickly, but you just think, if you had another 10 minutes maybe you'd done it slightly differently, or you might have tested it to make sure it definitely worked, that sort of thing. So I know everyone's on the back foot and has to respond as things come in. I think it's great that people are doing that, but it doesn't mean that standards have to completely nosedive with your comms. And it's hard, there's so much stuff out there at the minute, it's hard to get your voice heard. So I think it doesn't take much to stand out in terms of a quality perspective as well.
So I think in the same way as you would, rehearse a presentation in front of a live audience, then you should be putting the effort in to rehearse in front of, an audience who are sitting at home watching you. To me, it's a similar thing. I just want to go back as well. You talked about that framing of a shot when we were talking about, thinking about your background. And it is such a bugbear of mine, but that up the nose shot, it is so irritating.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. How can you stop that?
I think sitting up tight, sitting up straight, sitting properly, looking alert is really important. In terms of that shot though, Ray, yeah, you're right. Especially I've got a camera on a tripod here, so I can't really demonstrate it.
So I am stood up at the moment, but do you know what? Let me sit down, because it's the sit down shot that does it. So let me,
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. Oh God, yeah, you see it all the time.
I'm stood up. So my background is the corner of my kitchen, and I've just cleared those shelves. I've always got more on them, so I've just tidied it up a bit. But my laptop is sitting on top of a pack of 12 Peroni.
Someone's ready to be locked down, aren't they? Nice.
Absolutely. So it raises up my laptop so that, my eye line is more in line with the lens that is on my laptop. And then what I tend to do as well is I put a post-it note by the lens saying, look here, because one of the things that is tricky is, looking at a tiny camera lens and remembering that, that's the audience. So, Si, talk about what it is that you can do in terms of what you've done with me today, in getting me online and creating this look that we've got.
So these boxes of bits behind me that you can see can be used to film a conventional conference that we've all been to, but it can also dial in remote callers on Skype. So it could bring in up to 6 people at a time who can call in, be shown on the screen at the conference or streamed live, and chat to the people, the presenter at the conference. So it sounds a little bit like Eurovision, and it kind of, if you think of it, it is a little bit like that, where they look to a screen, you've got 6 people, they can talk amongst themselves or one person at a time. It's really good for like remote dial-ins. I've done quite a lot of stuff for news media outlets and stuff where we use this kit, but at the minute it could be really useful where if you've got senior people in the organisation or senior individuals in the organisation who either need to get together to give out a message or take questions and answers. So I saw yesterday at the end of the Boris Johnson's press briefing, someone mentioned, oh well, we have to go do this remotely soon because we can't all be near each other, and that is exactly how the system would work. So you could have 3 people all dialed in, listening, answering questions, and then taking questions from an audience as well. So that's a service that I've started doing. I've had that capability to do it for a little while, but it's not something that's been in much demand, but now is, based on everything that's going on at the minute.
Yeah, totally. And I think as well, from my point of view, as somebody that often works with presenters, and I work with a lot of CEOs, and I think it is daunting if you're tasked with delivering a message online. But what you can do with this setup side is you can talk to the presenter behind you. So you talk them through everything, you check how this with how the shot looked, we ran a little rehearsal, and also you counted me down, and you're doing all of the technical stuff from your office, leaving me just to focus on speaking.
It's hard for people, there's a lot of platforms now where they say, oh, you can show your slides, you can take a poll, you can do all this, but to do that and present, it's like bloody hard work. It's not easy. So yeah, what I can do is when people are ringing in, I can speak to them over my headset and just say, look, let's sort your camera out, let's get rid of that up the nose thing, and I can say, look, we're coming live to you in 30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10 seconds, just like I would if I was at a normal conventional event. And it's just a bit reassuring to the people at the other end who know that someone here, happens to be me, remotely, is kind of running the show and is going to manage things, because there's nothing more stressful on a live event than uncertainty, where presenters don't know what's happening or who's in charge. That's when nerves can get out of control and people can feel uncomfortable, and then it really affects the performance. So yeah, that's what I would do, is kind of coordinate everything, the 6 people dialing in, so they know exactly what's coming, so there's no surprises, so ultimately they look and feel comfortable on camera, which is what the end game is. That's kind of what we're looking to achieve.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Simon. Thanks for joining me there. And I'm going to be doing many more of these over the next few weeks. So if you are an industry expert and you want to get in touch about how we could have a conversation that will help people out there improve their performance online, then please let me know. Final thing would just be to say, stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands. Do not touch your face. Have a good weekend. Thank you.
See you later.